To happiness.
To happiness.
Cookie.
Let's get into Criterion.
The month that I feel like maybe renewed your faith in physical media based on some of the texts you sent to me in terms of like this year, in terms of what their Criterion's output has been. I feel like you were just really, I was blown away by this month in a way. I was pretty shocked.
It's really odd. Like, and you've known me for many years. This year in particular, Criterion, it's like they've been studying me or something.
They have.
You know, like Train Spotting, To Die For, Dogfight, Risky Business, Happiness. They're like very oddly specific titles that were very important to my identity over the years.
Yeah, for sure.
Watch, they're going to close out the year with House Party.
Okay, so...
Dude.
Watch.
I would just die. I mean, I died when I saw this Happiness for You. I was like, oh my God, not only is it coming out in 4K of all things, but they're putting it out. I texted you immediately.
And you know, a little aside, I'm sorry, you host a movie night.
Yes.
And I showed this to a group of people who had never seen it. You know, I felt some vindication when I saw Criterion put it out.
He did.
I was like, once again, I'm culturing you fucks.
I guess, yeah.
But this is their September slate, and there's a lot of bangers. And let's talk about Happiness, which was shocking to me. I know you, and I'm sure literally anyone that knows what this movie is, you're shocked, I'm sure. And it's coming out September 7th. Previously only available on DVD, which I'm sure you probably brought. Do you have it with you or no?
I stopped bringing things because you stopped reminding me.
Well, you know,
no, Matt, you can't have it both ways. You want me to come in here cold and react, so I don't know what we're covering.
You don't know we're going to talk about Happiness?
I mean, I didn't know that.
You did know that, so I had to remind you to know to bring that.
I own the DVD.
Do you want me to show you?
I will say, this movie is, for people that don't know what this is, I'm going to let you, I just want to talk about the release itself for a second, then I'm going to let you tell everyone what it's about, and for those that do know what it is, your thoughts, and see if you can find some common ground, some simpatico, some...
You want me to describe the film?
Not yet.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to go through the details, and then I want to see if anyone else out there feels the same way that you feel about this movie. All the fans out there. All
Criterion feels the same as I do.
They do. I don't know who on that board of directors was like, Happiness 2024.
I mean, jokes aside, it is a very, very good film. It's disturbing subject matter that's being treated with a comedic bent, but it is a very good film.
I never felt like it was a comedy, and I think that's my fault.
Just try.
I mean, I think I was trying to. I remember it was a movie very similar to a lot of these other movies that you put on, where sometimes they could use a little bit of a setup, just a little bit of one, but none is given. And then I'm left to try to decipher what it is I'm looking at. Should this be taken seriously? Should it not be taken seriously? Should I be laughing at this? Is this a drama? Is this a comedy?
Can I ask you, did you feel that way about Magnolia?
I knew what I was getting. And all Thomas Anderson film with all these actors that I know. And
okay, but I would just argue, I'd say Magnolia is set up similarly. Or,
you think so?
In terms of just dropping you in with a bunch of characters without, like, you're learning their history. It's being revealed as it goes, their stories. Same here. I think the subject matter. It's the subject matter.
The Magnolia reveals a little bit different than the Happiness reveals as the subject matter goes on.
Things get a little more intense.
All right, I'll give you that.
It's a little bit different.
It's a little different.
It's an acquired taste, but for diehard fans, I feel like people are getting a gift here for sure. I hope everyone feels that way. I feel like it's a pretty solid release too. I mean, first of all, you're getting it in 4K, like bam, like that's the gift right there. But Supervised, the director of photography, came back to do it. There's a Blu-ray and a 4K solo release, but there's also a 4K and a Blu-ray in one here. New conversation with the director. He came back. And filmmaker Charlotte Wells, I'm not sure who that is. Dylan Baker, one of the main characters. He comes back, new interview. You got a trailer. You got a little essay in there, which, is a pretty nice little package for this movie.
Is there something you'd like instead?
I also like what they did with the art. It's basically the same, but it's like they polished it up a little bit. I cropped out, the DVD's got this blue border, which I kind of cropped out just to kind of get the picture a little closer. But you can see like the original artist came back, sharpened up some of the characters, moved some people around, changed a little bit of the coloring, but it looks dynamite. I think the cover looks
it's
great.
in line, and I've told you I love Criterion's 4K releases where they're essentially making the cover art high def.
Yeah,
they did this with Risky Business. They did this with To Die For. Like, I love it, and yes, I agree with you. I dig it so much. I have this poster as an 11x17 framed in my house.
Yeah, no, it looks great, and even the different coloring and some of the characters are kind of moved around. I think there might even be an extra character or two maybe stuck in there. I think it just looks well done. Well done for sure. So Russ, tell the people what's going on here.
Ben Gazzara has moved around. Yeah.
Tell the people what's going on with this movie. Before you do, what's the pulse out there, Lindsay, in terms of a lot of people have seen it, haven't seen it, don't know what this is, are happy it's here?
Oh, hi, Lindsay.
I would say about 50-50. Some people haven't seen it.
Okay.
One person said they read the synopsis on Wikipedia and was like, no, that's not for me.
Yeah. And I'm going to be honest, this isn't the type of movie that I'm going to go out and tell everyone to watch.
Mm-hmm.
This is not, it's a comedy, and I find it funny.
Mm-hmm.
It's the way I would describe it ultimately. Has anybody, think David Lynch. There's always a theme in most David Lynch films of the sunny suburbia, everything is Norman Rockwell, picture perfect, but just underneath, there's that severity, or there's Dennis Hopper being Dennis Hopper.
God damn, you're one suave fucker.
Even Mulholland Drive, the aspiring actress, but right underneath, it's seedy. There's always the seedy underbelly. I would say Happiness and Todd Solondz' work in general has that same approach, but it's going to go into things like child abuse, child molestation, rape, and all that. And it's going to, the comedic filter he applies is almost, I'd say, in a sitcom way. Okay, it's going to be presented to you in a comedically warped. You're either going to roll with it or you are going to be offended.
Don't you think that's a little harsh?
Some movies you say are offensive, and people, Clockwork Orange is offensive. Yeah, it is, but ultimately you'd still watch it and be like, I understand why that first 45 minutes had everything it has in it. You're not going to feel that way if you're offended by Happiness.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to genuinely feel like,
disgust.
Why does this movie exist?
Yeah.
But like I said, if you can get past that and you understand that it's a social commentary on well-to-do white people mocking the facade that most of put forth into society, and just right behind those curtains, it's this scummy shit. Make no mistake. And you can get on that wavelength of, I'm having a laugh at this while exposing it. I think it's daring. I think it's comedically brilliant, but I also can 100% say it is not for everyone.
I want out.
Out of all of his films that I've seen, I haven't seen all of his films, but I've seen half. This is the one I would tell everyone to avoid. I would rather, if you've seen Storytelling and have not seen Happiness, Storytelling feels quaint compared to Happiness, in my opinion.
Did you write the essay for this? You could have.
I keep saying 4K Kings.
You could have written the essay.
We are making ourselves available as film historians for all commentary purposes to any boutique, any label out there. Yeah. Todd, look me up.
I'm curious what the people, or I think it's just one person, what their essay is. Usually there is some really good essays or thought-provoking stuff about the movie that people they get for writing in there. I'm curious if they touch on some of those same elements that you touched on.
That's maybe.
Guess we'll find out.
I want to give a shout out to Cameron Manheim.
I'm a passionate woman.
She's also in Romeo and Michelle.
Okay.
And even in that movie, she's kind of made the butt of jokes based on her physicality. I want to give her a huge shout out because I just applaud that she understood the humor of this, even in Romeo and Michelle. And I don't know, that's really fucking cool. That's just really cool. And even everyone involved, anyone who worked with Todd Solondz, and we'll go there and we'll understand that the bigger piece of art, like that you are just a component of it, and I can have humility to serve the greater story, to serve the greater canvas. Man, I applaud her, and I applaud everyone who. I wish people had balls like they did back then, making movies like this.
What year did it come out?
98, I
98.
think.
John Lovett's part's awesome.
Because I'm champagne.
He's not on the cover.
Got it.
Oh, wait, he is. That's him right there. Bottom right.
Yeah.
Green tie. Yeah. Yeah, he's awesome.
Let me ask you though. So
Okay.
when I showed it to a group of people that you were involved with, Lindsay, the producer as well, what did you guys take away from it? Because I gave it to you cold. I did not explain.
Yeah, I was uncomfortable by some of it. It's just like, I don't know. Like I was, and the other thing too was you weren't laughing like at all. And I feel like had you, like, because usually we put these kinds of movies on, and the parts that you find humorous, you're laughing at along with it.
Do you do that? Hold on. Am I the only person who does that when you watch movies with when you show another person a movie? I will not give social cues. I want to see how it plays.
Like when we watch Vendetta or Vengeance or whatever it was, or Pieces, like these things happen. You're laughing. I'm like, okay, this is
Pieces. I'm not.
Whatever. But there was no laughing. So I'm like, there's some of the scenes, some of the conversations. I'm like, okay, this is disturbing, but no one's laughing. So am I supposed, like, what kind of movie is this? There's no feeling for what I haven't watched a movie like this ever in terms of how it's presented to you.
And then Criterion came along, put it out, and fucked you all up.
They really did. They were like, you've been wrong this whole time.
Yeah.
Is how they made me feel.
All right, well, I mean, this is what our channel's for. Like, well, what did you think of the movie?
It made me uncomfortable.
He's depressed.
I don't know that I feel
like that removed all other feeling. It was too uncomfortable to even laugh, or
I don't remember laughing really. I remember thinking I should watch that again.
Yeah,
I should give that another chance with a new frame of mind or a new thought process on it.
And be honest, usually that feeling and that response is indicative of a very good piece of art.
Yeah, like I want to experience it again.
If something gives you that feeling, there's something there.
Yeah, because I like surreal kind of stuff. I feel like there's like a fine line where sometimes things kind of fall too surreal, and then there's like that line where it's like, it's like Kids in the Hall, Tim and Eric, like that kind of stuff where it's just a little bizarre.
It's absurd,
but you can find it funny.
I don't think I can do that.
And that's the thing. This is sticking to a narrative, a structure.
It is,
and it's fucking with that narrative that you and me and everyone else have been conditioned to by traditional movies. So when we see something like this, it's like, whoa. And that's what I dig about it, because it's the filmmaker. He's treating you, the audience, with respect. He's saying to you, hey, I know you know these conventions. I know you're smart enough to know if I treat this. I know you're smart enough to know that you're walking into a movie that's going to deal with child abuse. It's going to be presented in a certain way, but I'm going to trust you, and I'm going to subvert that shit.
You'll see.
to make a point and start a conversation, make you uncomfortable. And this shit really does go on in real life.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, that's art. Fuck it. That's art.
Is that, did you write did you write the essay? Or?
And it's funny. It's a fucking funny movie.
I would love to give it another try.
All right, the Lovitz thing alone, you were laughing at that.
I was
because pumped. that was it's the opening scene, and it kind of sets the tone, but it doesn't go too
no,
dark
it doesn't.
So you were on the wavelength. It introduced it very well, in my opinion. It was showing you, okay, this is dark.
It's gonna be weird, and I was ready for the weird.
Toes in there,
I was ready.
But then it went.
Yes, only come can be used as a verb as well.
Yes, a little too far, and I was like, okay. And I'm not a prude. I'm ready to watch it again. I just wasn't ready.
And that's why I keep reiterating. I'm saying no. I would not recommend this to anyone, because this isn't a case of if you were offended by this or didn't like it. I wouldn't judge you. I wouldn't look at it as if like some film snob shit. You don't understand it. No, I would look at you like, hey, you're probably a good person. You know what I mean?
You're normal.
You're probably a good person.
And you later found out there's a happiness too.
Yes.
Yeah. And I still haven't seen it because I'm actually intimidated
to watch it. Because of how this.
Yeah, it's the same characters, just recast, and it is a follow up. Particularly, I read to the Dylan Baker storyline.
Anybody out there seen Happiness 2?
No.
Lindsay, was there anyone out there speaking on Happiness, speaking on its sequel, speaking on titles like it that we should also check out or know about?
Yeah, there's a lot of great comments.
Let's hear it.
Brown Bunny was applauding you, Russ, for teaching the children well.
Oh, thank you, Brown Bunny. And that name is a reference to another movie I'd probably throw in, the whole Vincent Gallo. I would put him in the Todd Solondz category.
Okay.
Scott Hall said, fuck it, It's Art should have been on the cover.
Instead of #1 film of the year, fuck it, It's Art.
4K King.
And Victor Fontaine was laughing at you saying, if you're offended, you're probably a good person.
Seriously. Hey, has Victor seen it? I don't. Lindsay, do you know? Has Victor seen it?
No, I
you
think
would agree
Victor
with me on
might
that,
have been
though.
the person that said they've read the Wikipedia and wasn't going to do that. No pedo stuff for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I understand.
Yeah, it's understandable.
Dude, everyone has limits. Everyone has like, yo, I don't even want to fuck with that in a satirical way. And I completely understand that.
Or you know, they're just real jerks.
Now, the only thing I would disagree with is if someone who has that view would try to censor this movie, which I don't think anyone's saying that.
No.
But no, I completely agree.
Happiness.
I don't go into things that I know I'm not going to like. Why would you expect someone else to do that?
Happiness should be seen by everyone.
Hunter Dean also said that it's absolutely hilarious
It is.
and pointed out that the sequel was released by Criterion.
Happiness
correct?
Part 2?
It's not called Happiness Part 2.
What's it called?
Happiness Harder. It's called Happiness with a Vengeance.
Electric Boogaloo? What's it called?
It's called,
I don't know.
Life During Wartime.
yes, Life During
Oh,
War.
there, yep.
In my head, I kept thinking, Welcome to Sarajevo.
Welcome to Sarajevo.
Just like a 90s movie with Marissa Tomei. I'm like, it's not that.
Dude, it did come out from Criterion. It did. It did. 2011.
I'm
It came out
surprised.
on
You
Blue.
do that first, right?
I'm surprised Welcome to the Dollhouse was in Criterion. I think Shout.
Dude, if I had
think
known that,
Shout
I
put
mean,
that out.
this makes sense now that they would put this out. This makes total sense. I didn't know that they put the sequel out in 4K or in Blu-ray before this came out.
I feel like Happiness has more notoriety than that, though. Maybe I'm wrong.
Okay, well, Allison Janney, Ali Sheedy,
Yeah.
Paul Rubens, Charlotte Rampling.
I told you. Remember?
All right. All right. Well, Happiness 2, During Wartime. Pick it up. Russ highly recommends it to everyone.
Good.